But disappointment, of course, for Bath after defeat in the semi-finals for the third straight year. The one silver lining for the men from the Rec is the fine form of the LV Breakthrough Player of the Year, Ollie Devoto, and here's Graham Simmons.
The plan, put simply, was to jump in. Banahan inside the house as a diversion, while young Lane, Mercer, Dunn, Biggs and Heathcote swept down the garden path in arrowhead formation and sealed off the front door. Classic shock and awe tactics. Photographic reconnaissance, confirming a direct hit.
You thought, what, March? It's a bit late for carol singers? Is that what you were thinking?
It was, yeah, and Matt Banahan came round, I think, 10 minutes before he was supposed to, so I kind of twigged a little bit there, you know, what's going on here. He said he was coming to see the dog, but yeah, that was the first visit
flimsy,
I've had.
Flimsy,
yeah,
very flimsy.
Is it a relief, Richard, not to have to tell fibs anymore?
I guess so, yeah. I kind of quite enjoy it, weirdly, keeping Ollie on his toes, like me sort of knowing everything and him not having a clue, so it's quite fun organising that.
Well, for an award that's barely 3 years old, this one already has some heft. Johnny May was the inaugural winner. Jack Knoll won it last year, so Mr. Devoto, no pressure whatsoever.
They've done extremely well, you know, looking at where they are now. But I think, for me, you know, I'm a way off that, you know. I think.
Hey, if you haven't played for England within a year, they want the trophy back. You know that, don't you?
Well, in 2 years, Ollie Devoto has risen almost without trace. From school, through the Bath Academy, and in with the big boys, where he's already worn 4 different shirts in 3 different competitions. If the learning curve were any steeper, it'd be vertical.
18 months ago in pre-season, I asked the question what he was actually doing there, straight from school, trying to carry a tyre up a hill. I thought he was going to cry at the time, but since then he's been brilliant the way the guys learned, took things on board, and obviously skill level.
Ollie Devoto is as homegrown as a spring onion. Dad Steve was a centre three-quarter turned coach at Sherborne Rugby Club at age 2. Ollie was on the bus on away days with the first 15, being babysat by the front row, and his favourite prop.
Mike Barrow.
Yeah, what did he do?
He used to buy me a Mars bar every Sunday, a pint of Coke and a Mars bar. He used to chop up the Mars bar into tiny little bits. And
Age 2?
Yeah, 2, 3. So.
And when you got home and your mum couldn't work out why you wouldn't go to sleep until midnight, that would be the answer why?
Yes, it would, yeah.
Dad's is the last text he gets before the match, and he's the first phone call afterwards. His coach throughout his time at Sherborne, the Farrells of darkest Dorset. Dad now pinching himself in the 1 and 9pennies.
I tend to watch him every time he falls on the floor and gets up. I don't think any parent would do that. You literally watch him the whole game. And sometimes when he does come off, he's substituted. I wouldn't say it's a relief, but then you can start watching the whole game in front of you.
I think I get my competitiveness from my dad. Very, very competitive.
So when you and your brother Tom and Dad are sitting around at Christmas playing Cluedo, I mean, does it get a bit messy?
It does, yeah.
So who is the best centre in the Devoto household? Be honest.
Honestly, I am.
If the edge comes from Dad, the hands are Mum's. A netball queen, or at least she was, until she gave birth to a Virgo, and rugby took over.
His nickname when he was little was Captain Sensible. Because simple things, when he could read, it became a nightmare. I couldn't park anywhere where there were signs saying no parking because he'd refuse to get out the car. So,
He's a responsible lad.
He is, very.
Well, delightful a young man as he is, and he is, Devo has a serious side. Grounded, yes, humble, yes, but hugely self-critical. Perhaps it's the secret of his success.
Have the coaches here ever told you to lighten up?
Yeah.
Or asked you to lighten up?
Mike Ford has done it several times. Yeah, to lighten up. Smile. Smile is the one he keeps repeating. But yeah, I suppose that's just the way I am.
Well, so far he's had team time at fly half, full back, but he looks set to be hanging his hat in the centre. Indeed, at 6'4", there's more than a touch of the Yannick Jausions about him, or at least there will be, once he's spent a summer in the gym, eating bowls of raw meat.
Look, this time next year he's going to be a stone heavier. You know, he's going to have 10, 20 more appearances under his belt, and he's one to watch.
100 years ago, the Devotos were living in Verona. Bit tenuous to be capped by Italy, but England, no question, have a beady eye on the young man. Not that he'd be the first Devoto to make it to an international. Uncle Neil once played for Bermuda.
He did. He was over there overseas working, and he played against the West Indies, countries like Tobago. So he is an international, and yes, he does remind me of it.
So another one wouldn't go amiss, really, then, would it?
Well, it would be lovely, wouldn't it? It would be good.
Well, sadly for Bath, the Breakthrough Player Award is the only trophy they'll be lifting this year in the Anglo-Welsh Cup. Mind you, one's always better than none.
A worthy winner? Did you vote for him?
I did, yeah. Got a little plug in on Twitter for him. He's done hugely well this year, so yeah, definitely a worthy winner.
I think he's been fantastic. If you look at the games he's played and all the positions he can play in, I think he was the obvious winner.
Well, whatever he gets up to in the rest of his rugby life, you wish him well. And don't be too surprised if Devoto is a name you hear an awful lot more of in the years to come.
Well, absolutely nothing wrong with the name Captain Sensible, but obviously you know him extremely well, having been at Bath. How highly do you rate him from what you've seen of him, Ollie Devoto?
Exceptionally highly. You know, that clip was talking about when he joined the team last year at pre-season camp, literally left school in the morning and joined the team abseiling off cliffs in Chepstow, and just a fantastic kid. You know, he's the type of guy that comes into the environment where you're coaching and you really want to see him do well. Really has his feet on the ground, very well brought up, fantastic work ethic. The players around him want to see him do well as well, and he's just got a fantastic skill set. You know, he's been really well coached at school, carries the ball in both hands. For a big man, he's got an elusive step, kicks the ball a mile, a big left footer. Actually a 10, really. 10 position he wants to play. We put him at fullback, set him, you know, learn the game from the back. And it was an interesting situation because a couple of months ago, a few months ago, you know, Carl Eastman wasn't available to play, and we made a decision to pick him at the centre. And I remember Lawrence Delario was quite critical, saying, we're being a bit economical with the truth. This guy surely can't play there. And we played against Waston. He played very well.
Very highly. I don't see him as a 10.
I mean, do you rate him in England
I don't
highly?
like my Flyers being too lanky. I get charged down too much. I want him to play 12. I think 12 Trees will obviously be worried about Manu coming back and therefore Luther switching to 12. He might have one eye on Burgess. This kid, he could come with a charge for 2015. Yeah. I think he's absolute class. Got a little feint in and away. He's two-handed. What I mean by that, he's a genuine distributor of both hands. Yeah. He's tough. He's niggly. He's as good a young centre as I've seen for a long time.
Wow, that is an accolade. We shall keep our eye on Ollie Devoto.